This is why Democrats are celebrating in Texas. It's January 24th, 2025, and these are your headlines. Yesterday, just hours after controversial rules for the Texas House were released, the chamber rushed through a vote to approve them without allowing debate or amendments, escalating tensions between reform-minded Republicans and House leadership under Speaker Dustin Burrows. Now, as we reported yesterday, and we followed this saga, you could follow it at texasscorecard.com, essentially these proposed rules that were sent to members at 4:30 a.m. maintained and actually expanded a power-sharing agreement between Republicans and Democrats in the chamber. It gives Democrats vice chairs significant authority in introducing pathways for Democrat control of new standing subcommittees. And so while Republicans would only be eligible to serve as chairs, all vice chairs would be required to be Democrats. And then they expanded the power of what a vice chair is. The rushed release and subsequent vote has raised concerns about transparency and Speaker Burrows' willingness to prioritize the Republican agenda. Now, during the debate, or lack thereof, yesterday, Representative Todd Hunter attempted to shield Speaker Burrows from criticism. He said that no member, including Burrows, received the rules early. He urged members to direct their frustrations at him instead. Representative Tony Tinderholt proposed postponing consideration of the rules, at least for a day, to allow members to review and amend the 250-page document. However, Speaker Burrows refused to entertain the motion. And before amendments could even be offered, efforts were cut off when Representative Jared Patterson invoked the motion for previous question. That's commonly called the nuclear option. Now, this rare procedural move immediately ends all debate and forces a vote. This motion passed 107 to 35, effectively shutting down any opportunity to discuss or amend the rules. The final vote on the rules was 116 to 23. Now, for reform-minded Republicans, it's being viewed as a declaration of war. Many had hoped to use the amendment process to strengthen Republican control and address the concerns of their constituents who've long opposed these bipartisan power-sharing arrangements. And instead, those opportunities were steamrolled by leadership's tactics. And what more? Now some of those establishment members are sending out texts, maybe you've gotten some of them, claiming that they've banned Democrat committee chairs, when in fact, they've actually given them more power than they've ever had before. Now, with these rules now approved, the chamber adjourned, and they'll be gone until Monday at 4 p.m. They're enjoying a long weekend. So that's what's going on in the Texas House. What's happening in the Senate? Well, already they've referred school choice legislation, Senate Bill 2, to committee. The Education Committee, that is, chaired by Senator Brandon Creighton, who authored the measure. A hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, January 28th. This bill proposes $10,000 annually per pupil for private school tuition, textbooks, transportation, and other expenses, with $11,500 allocated for students with disabilities. Funded by $1 billion over 2 years in the preliminary budget, at least 50,000 students could benefit annually, just based on the quick math there. The Texas Comptroller would manage the program, including certifications to connect parents with resources. Lawmakers with school-age children would be ineligible. Now, this proposal, unlike prior efforts from last session, doesn't include currently any reimbursements for districts losing students. Senator Creighton, a key advocate last session for school choice, faces potential opposition from House Democrats and moderate Republicans, though the inclusion of funding in the House's budget as well says perhaps it will face improved prospects this session. The committee will hear the bill on Tuesday and can hold additional meetings after that potentially. A full Senate vote awaits Governor Greg Abbott releasing his priorities, typically revealed in February. In fact, we have information to suggest it'll take place February 2nd in his State of the State. School choice is expected to rank high for Governor Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who declared it his top priority, echoing calls for no child or parent in Texas to be left behind.
Are you worried about your kid's future? You should be. I'm Charles Blaine with Texas Tomorrow. This is a show where we're going to talk about the issues and the people that are pushing the policies that concern your family, your home, and your kids. Catch Texas Tomorrow every Thursday.
Lastly, after 4 years of contentious legal battles, the Texas State Bar has officially dropped its effort to sanction Attorney General Ken Paxton, coming shortly after the Texas Supreme Court dismissed a related case against Paxton's first assistant, Brett Webster, in December. So what happened? Well, in December of 2020, following the presidential election filled with concerns about election integrity, Paxton led 18 states in filing Texas v. Pennsylvania at the U.S. Supreme Court, which challenged the voting procedures in states like Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and sought to temporarily block those states from certifying vote counts ahead of the Electoral College vote. Well, the Supreme Court eventually dismissed the case, saying that Texas lacked standing to bring the lawsuit. In 2022, the Texas State Bar, that's the professional organization that certifies lawyers, attempted to censure and sanction the Attorney General and his first assistant, Brett Webster, for having filed the lawsuit, calling it frivolous. The bar filed a lawsuit against them in an effort to strip their law licenses. Well, in a statement today, Attorney General Ken Paxton decried the State Bar's efforts as politically motivated lawfare and celebrated the final conclusion of the case. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.